Hey everybody, welcome to the CNC with Dave show. This is episode 39, I think. So let's see, I better get ready to mute this because I don't think I did a while ago. It'll probably start going off here in a minute. We've got somebody brand new on our, oh yeah, I did have it muted. Got somebody brand new on our panel tonight. I want to welcome Trevor Carter to the show. And we're going to go down the list here and let the panel introduce themselves. Trevor, we'll go ahead and start with you, buddy.
Hey, everybody. As Dave said, my name is Trevor Carter. Trevor's Woodshop. You can find me on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, the whole works under either Trevor Carter or Trevor's Woodshop. Thanks for having me, Dave.
All right. Thanks for being here, Trevor. Next, moving across, we've got Mr. Mertsky.
Good morning, Mike Mertsky Custom Woodworking. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and every now and then on the YouTubes. Thanks for having me, Dave.
Yeah, good to have you, Mike. Next, we've got Mark Graves.
Hey everybody, Mark Graves from Ontario, Canada. Got Mark's Custom Design on Facebook and YouTube. Haven't done a YouTube video for a couple weeks, but hope to get some more out there soon. Thanks for having me, Dave.
All right. Thanks for being on here tonight, Mark. Next, we have the other Mark.
Yes, I got to unmute myself to do this. Evening, everybody. I'm Mark Lindsay, and you can find me here on YouTube, especially in the comment section, and over on Facebook in more groups than I can count. So thank you for having me, Dave.
All right, Mark, thanks for being here tonight. Next, going across, I have my buddy Juan there.
Hi, guys. How you doing? My name is Juan Lopez. You can find me. I'm in Dallas, Texas. You can find me on YouTube and Facebook under G-Code One Design. Thanks for having me, Dave.
You're welcome, Juan. Thanks for being here. And last but not least, Becca Miller.
Hi there. I'm Becca Miller. I'm in Keene, Texas. And I'm on Facebook. I'm getting my shop ready this week. So hopefully once I get that set up, I might even make a video or two for YouTube. Look out, world. Here I come.
Hot diggity. I love it. We're good. Thanks for being on here again tonight, Becca. First off, I wanted to, before we get going here, I just wanted to congratulate again Paul Corliss from Flushing, Michigan. He was the winner of the Gatton CNC hat. He was the first one to text me correctly with the right answer to the question. And just to refresh everybody's memory, the question last week, as you recall, I was doing the show from out in my garage, right out here. And that was the second time I'd done the show from the garage. And all the other times I've done it, except for one, I've been right here. But there was one other time when I did it in my shop around back. And a lot of people, I think, got confused because they kept saying it was episode 21. And that was the other one that I did out in the garage. But I was looking for the one when I did it out in my shop. And that was episode 2. That was just early on. And Paul Corliss from Paul's Messy Woodshop, Workshop, I think it is. And I believe he's out there in the chat as well. So congratulations, Paul. He's already got his hat and already sent me a picture of it. So congratulations to him. Tonight, when we do our question of the week, I've got a white side, 1/2 inch diameter, 60-degree V-bit with a 1/4 inch shank.
Wow.
Brand new, never been used.
Dang.
So whoever can text me the correct answer to the question for this week, I'll be sending them this router bit.
Nice.
And also, folks, remember, I mention this every week, but when y'all text me, and I'll repeat the number, my phone number again, right before I do the question. But remember, I may not have you in my phone, so if you just text me the answer, I don't know who you are. You got to put your first and last name so I know who you are. You know, y'all know my number, but I don't know yours. So anyway, we'll get to that at the end of the show. So you want to stick around for that. Let's see. Also, I wanted to thank everybody that's continuing to send me pictures. For those of you who may not know, I've on both websites, the GarageWorks CNC website and the newer website I have, DaveGatton.com. I've created a page with a photo gallery, so I'm putting pictures of Gatton CNC builds on the DaveGatton.com site, and of course, GarageWorks CNCs. On the other side, I've got Mr. Mertzke's fine-looking machine. Got it, lots of pictures of it over there. I see Bubba Hogue's in the chat. He sent me some pictures. I've got those on there as well. So if you want to show off your machine or your build, and want me to put a link to your YouTube channel or whatever, send me some photos and I'll put that on there for you. But I appreciate everybody that's sending them in so far. Let's see, what else have I got here? Also, I wanted to mention again the Woodworking Show is going to be March 31st, Saturday, April 1st, and Sunday, April 2nd here in Atlanta. And the reason I wanted to mention this for sure tonight is Becca sent me a message the other day, and she wanted to know, what was it, like April 26th or 24th through the 26th, I think is what it was.
Yeah, it was the weekend before. Yeah.
Yeah, and she sent me the link, and there was some page online that has totally the wrong date. So I don't know whether it was a scam or what, but it's like they had, and it had 2017. It wasn't left over from another show, but it said the Woodworking Show in Atlanta, and it had like towards the end of April, and that's not right. So if you go to check out when that show is, make sure you Google search the Woodworking Show. That's the name of that whole show circuit that travels around, and they're going to be in Atlanta, like I said, Friday, March 31st, Saturday, April 1st, and Sunday, April 2nd. I know I'll be there probably at least Friday and Saturday, maybe all 3 days. I don't know. I think Mr. Mertzke's going to be there.
Yep, I'll be there in 3 days.
Yeah. Let's see, Becca, I think you're bringing a crew with you, aren't you?
Yeah, Mike Chipser and Jerry Brown, and I think Russ Meadows is coming up too, but he's not coming with us. So the Texas contingent will be there. Yeah.
Well, you gotta represent Texas. So. Okay, we're good.
I think Becca's bringing a posse with her.
Yeah. Juan, you gonna get on that?
I don't think so.
Okay, well, you'll have to. I guess somebody's got to hold down the fort there in Texas,
right?
Man.
Okay. Okay. Now, Becca, did you have something else you were wanting to share with some folks, or?
Yeah, we've got get together coming up. We decided on April 29th. We're going to have a get together here in Texas and invite anybody who wants to come, but mostly people from Texas. And if you want to come down from Oklahoma, it's not too far either. We don't have a place picked out yet. The place that we looked at, I don't think it's going to work out for us. So I'm still on the hunt for that. And I will get information out there. I do have a Facebook event set up for it. So you can start, checking it out and telling me you're going to be there. I kind of need to know how many people are going to be coming so I can figure out where to set it up. I mean, if it's going to be 5 people, we can do it out in my shop. If it's going to be 50 or 100, we're going to have to find some other place. So check it out. Let me know if you're coming, and I'll keep you informed of our plans as they come along.
Okay, great. And that's a Saturday, April 25th, right? Okay.
Yeah, it's going to be Saturday afternoon, and I want folks to just come, and we'll have some barbecue or something, and some liquid refreshments, and bring some of your work that you want to show off so we can check out what you've been doing on your machines.
Okay, awesome. Well, I'm marking my calendar right now. Like I said before, I've never been to Texas, so this is a good excuse. So I'm marking my calendar, so you can count me. You got one.
Okay, good. All right.
Okay, let's see what else I got on my little list of stuff I'm not supposed to forget. Let's see here. Okay, I think we've covered just about everything. One other thing I wanted to mention, do y'all remember Jat from Hein Technology that was here a couple of weeks ago talking about the Masso controller?
Yeah.
I've been trying to get him to come back on here because, you know, we talked about him doing a demonstration where he can show that the software that's built into that controller and actually, you know, run a CNC machine with it. And he's trying to get all that worked out. But he did want me to mention tonight, I thought he was going to try to get on here tonight, but he wasn't going to be able to make it. But he did ask me to mention that he will be on the panel here next week. And he mentioned something about a giveaway of some kind. So I don't know. You may want to stay tuned for that next week. So that could get interesting.
Nice.
Let's see here. I guess that's all the stuff I've got wrote here in my little notes. Does anybody else got anything before we start taking questions? Or Mark, have we got any questions? Or
we got a bunch of questions, but we got two real quick because Matt, the guy with the last name who cannot be named, he's got two real quick questions. He's got a split. He's got a fireman's award dinner he's got to go to. Okay. He's wanting to know whatever happened to the Scrolling with Dave show.
The Scrolling with Dave show? I tell you what, I went to, I guess what he's talking about is back in October, I went to, for the first time ever, I went to the show in Hickory, North Carolina. Great show, Clean Sport Extravaganza. If you get a chance to go to it. And I came home with what is it? DeWalt. See, I don't even know what it is.
I don't know.
DeWalt 788. Does that sound right? That's
the one.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Trevor. You know, I bought that. They had a deal where you got the stall, the table. I bought the pedal and all that. Bought myself a stool. Got it all set up in my shop out there beside my CNC. Bought a bunch of blades and stuff, and I'm all set. And then I got real busy, and I spent all my time in the garage running those kits. So the scrolling with Dave has been put on hold. I don't think I'm ever going to get out there and get to use that thing. Maybe one day, but yeah. Yeah. Hey, Sterling. I see Sterling over at DeWalt 788. He was at that show. I saw my buddy Sterling. Yeah. Yeah. Sterling says he talked me into it. Yeah, he kind of did. What else we got over there, Mark?
Oh boy, we got all kinds of things. Okay. Let's see. Do you want to just dive right into the questions?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, try to give me the easy ones first.
Well, this one, I got a private message. So this one's kind of been sitting over here for a while. I got a private message on Facebook from Sean Tenaglia, and I hope I didn't butcher that name too bad, Sean. Said he does his drawing in VCarve Pro 8.5, and it previews just fine. But when he takes the G code over into Mach 3 and opens it up, all it wants to do is cut half of the part. Have you ever encountered anything like that?
I got to guess at what he's doing.
Okay.
My guess would be that he's got, you know, more than one tool path, and that when he's saving it as the post in the, you know, with the post processor, he probably doesn't have all the tool paths checked, or maybe it's two different tools or something. I don't, I don't know what
no, like he sent me a screenshot from VCarve Pro cutting a gear. But when he loads the G code into Mach 3 over there in the toolpath window, it only shows half of that gear.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is when he simulates that in VCarve Pro,
Mhm.
it, depending on how he does it, it may show everything. But when
Mhm.
he goes to save the code, if he doesn't have all those toolpaths selected, he may only be getting half the part or something.
Mm-hmm.
Unless when he says half the part, it's exactly cut in half. And
Yes.
I mean, I don't know because I'm not.
Yeah, you know, when you load the G code into Mach 3, it puts a simulation over in the toolpath window. Just that small.
He's not running. Has he got his license Mach 3? Because maybe he's got too many lines of code if he's got the demo.
Let's see. I don't know. He hasn't.
But then even if that, it would do at least.
Yeah, it
the
should
circle,
show.
or you know, if it's just half of the part, then something's going on.
Yeah. Let me open up Facebook here and see if I can do a screen share for the pictures.
Oh, you got pictures?
Yeah, he's got pictures. Let me get it. I got to load up Facebook again, so this may drag my connection way down. This is an
okay.
old.
Well, while you're doing that real quick, I saw Vicky, it scrolled up the chat now, but I saw she had a question about should she get Mach 3 or Mach 4? I don't know of anybody that's using Mach 4, but I've just heard it's still kind of buggy. And I've been using Mach 3 for years, and I won't ever change until I have to buy something else.
Yeah, I haven't tried it, but most of the forums, pretty much everyone in all the forums recommend to stick to Mach 3 until they figure all the Mach 4 stuff out.
Yeah, and I kind of figure that's why they still have Mach 3 around, available. Because if they had all the bugs worked out of 4, they'd probably do away with 3 where you couldn't buy it.
Right.
Well, Mach 4 is a totally different, like it's not an upgrade of Mach 3. They started as a totally new software. So I don't know. My understanding is because of that, that's why they're having so much bugs. So they started from the ground up with Mach 4.
Okay, so here's what he has this is in VCarve. And you can see right there, he's got the full thing simulated.
Hold on, Mark. Let me lock it on you here so it'll quit jumping around.
Okay, he's got the whole gear simulated in the 3D view cut out.
Yeah.
But then
now
he loads it.
Show that first picture again, please.
Okay.
Yeah, are you able to zoom in on that? See, I see at least 2 different tool paths over there, it looks like.
Yeah, there are 2 tool paths here.
Okay.
Let me see if I can zoom in. Okay, a little bit. There we go.
Okay. All right. So now can you go back to the other one?
Okay, let me zoom back out here and close that. And we'll go. Come on. All right. And that's the view he gets in Mach 3. Okay. It only wants to cut half.
That's not even where his tabs are set up, though. If you look at the other picture, his tabs are set up.
Yeah, I'm thinking weird. Maybe he doesn't have the vectors.
Yeah.
Joined or something.
Because it's, oh, you know what? That might be the case. Now that I think about it. Because you've got profile 1, profile 2. I wonder if those vectors are not joined.
Yep.
But why would it still simulate?
I think he's got a mirror image set up in his Mach 3 as well, because I can almost see where it's going to start. That's where it's going to put that tab. But see, it's an exact mirror of that original
that makes
thing.
Sense.
Yeah.
And I had that when I did my first text. Tell him to do some text. And if it comes out upside down and backwards, then he has to change which direction the X and Y is going in.
That's a great idea.
That took me like 2 hours to figure out one night. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
a mirror image
okay.
of a circle is a mirror image is a circle. It doesn't matter. But as soon as you start doing something strange, it'll know.
Okay.
Yeah, those tabs are the first
Okay.
things that set flags up.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, that might be. Yeah, Rob Hampton came in and said, could it be the machine limits set too low in Mach 3? I don't think machine limits has anything to do with it. So, okay, you can take it off me.
Okay. Well, we've given him a couple of things to try now. So
Hope that gives you a place to start, Sean. But yeah, I forgot all about what Mark was saying. If your text is backwards, then yeah, you'll need to reverse your X or your Y, possibly both.
yeah, and if you have trouble figuring out, Sean, if you want to email me the VCAR file, and I can take a look at it and then load it into my Mach 3 and see. So, I mean, just looking at pictures and stuff, it's kind of hard to troubleshoot sometimes. But if you have trouble figuring it out, just send me your VCAR file and I'll take a look at it for you. Okay.
All right.
What else we got?
Okay, we have Landis Stutz wants to know, is anyone having either emergency stops or lost communication with the UC 100 for no good reason?
Say that slower. I'm sorry. I was trying to read what you...
Okay. Are you having either emergency stops or lost communication with the UC 100 for no good reason?
Well, I've mentioned that pretty often on the show. I think I love my little UC 100 that I used with the laptop, but there are times, not all the time, sometimes I go out there and hook it up and it runs all day long, not a single problem. But other times it will stop. Sometimes it might stop 4 or 5 times, and it's just like, you turn your head and you look back and it's like somebody hit the reset button or something. I don't know for sure what causes it, but to me, now I don't know about Landis's issue, but at least when it does it with me, it's always within the first 15 or 20 minutes of me running. And so I kind of look at it like it's maybe something on, and even though I might have turned my Wi-Fi off, there may be something it's already downloaded some updates and it decides now's the time it's going to update it or whatever. I've got all my power saving stuff turned off, but it'll still do it. It's not a problem to start it back. I always get it, run from here and hit cycle start and go right ahead where I left off. But it's really annoying, but it always happens like the first 15 or 20 minutes. After I get, it gets done acting finicky, it'll run all day. And when I say I run it all day, I mean I run it all day. So I don't know if that's the thing. If you don't have your Wi-Fi turned off, Landis, make sure you do that just so it's not trying to do some kind of updates. Check your power saving. Laptops have all kinds of stuff on there to try to preserve power, and if they even though Mach 3 is running, if you're not touching and moving the mouse or something, it tries to go into this little power saving mode. So you got to turn all that stuff off. But even then, I've still had issues, and of course now, thanks to Michael Chipser, I've got an old what was that thing he sold me? A Dell, I think. So I'm using that new touchscreen monitor that if y'all watched last week's show and the wireless keyboard, and so now I don't have any problems at all because I'm back at least with that computer or that machine because I'm hooking all that stuff up. So.
Yeah, Jim Sinicola kicks in here and he says, does he have the USB set not to go to sleep? I don't know where that setting is, Jim, but I know that I've seen other people comment on that. that if you're not actively working something on the computer, it will shut down. The USB port will go to sleep.
Yeah, that may be something for me to check too, because I didn't know that USBs went to sleep.
Yeah.
I just thought it was all those other settings.
Yeah,
had
the
mine.
individual USB ports will have a power setting. It's a power save setting. So definitely go in there, and each USB, whatever kind of hub your computer has, each port has to be, the power setting has to be changed. Also, on the UC CNC Software's website, they have a USB installer for the UC100. Well, it's actually for all their UC 100, the 300, the 400. Sometimes your Windows-based systems will install it and it'll work fine, but I found that it works better if you actually use their USB auto installer, and then you just select which UC controller you're using, and that will install it. And I've actually found that that's I've gotten a little better. It doesn't do that as often, but like Dave said, every once in a while, and I think it's just the fact that it's a USB device. It's trying to translate something off of a 25-pin serial.
Yeah.
Or you could do like
Yeah.
Dave did and get you an old Windows XP desktop and not have any problems at all.
Yeah, I saw Michael Chipser over there in the chat. I'm giving you another plug, Michael. He always, if he doesn't have any right at the moment, he'll have some, because he gets them all the time. He says, "Yeah, that was some of the best money I've spent." That and my touch screen. I'm really liking that touch screen. That's pretty cool. What else we got? I saw a couple others scroll by there. Now I forgot what one of them was.
Yeah, me too. They're kind of going by pretty quick, and I'm trying to get them here. Let's see. Oh, did I get the wrong one? Oh, wow.
I know one question I saw scroll by a while ago was somebody was asking about Linux CNC. I don't know anything about Linux, and we did one of the real early shows. We had Marlo. Well, he wasn't really on there to talk about Linux, but he was showing off his Sidewinder building stuff. Maybe I can get with him and see if he wants to come back on here and do something, talk about Linux. Or I think, if I'm not mistaken, Rob Schuster uses Linux too. So maybe I can, I don't know if they're out there, but we can get somebody on here to talk about Linux. I'm just not the right person because I've never used it and don't plan on it. So.
Okay. All right. That was one of the questions I was going to ask.
Okay.
Hey, Dave.
Yes.
If you have 1 second, I can screen share and show you how you can turn that off, what you were talking about on the USB.
Okay. I know I saw Jim Senecola said you go to the power settings, which.
Yeah. Well, what you do is, can you see my screen?
Yeah.
All right. You go, if you have Windows.
Hold on, let me lock it on you, Russ.
If you have Windows 10, you'll just go to your little button down here that you normally open everything up in.
Mm-hmm.
And all you'll do is just right click on it, go up to Device Manager.
Yeah.
And it's going to open up a second one here. That's fine. It doesn't matter. Let me close one of them out. Yeah, I only got one. Then you'll scroll down here to your Universal Serial Bus Controller.
Mm-hmm.
See your generic USB hub. Right click and hit Properties. You'll see the little tabs. Right here is Power Management. Allow the computer to turn this device to save power. You want to uncheck that. And now the USB won't go to sleep.
Yeah, I'll have to check mine because I'm sure mine's probably not unchecked like that. But what I've always found odd is, like I said, it always happens to me within the first 15 or 20 minutes. Once I, get through that little space, and maybe sometimes it might only do it once. But then once I get it going, it'll run the whole rest of the day, and I'm not out there touching anything. I'm doing something else. And it'll run fine. It's just that first little bit, it has trouble figuring out. And again, it's not all the time. It's just once in a while. So.
I had it happen to me the other day. I've had that CNC since June of last year, I think it is. I believe it was June of last year, something like that. And that had it happen for the first time to me, the emergency stop set during a project. And it never happened before. So I don't know what in the world caused it this time, but kind of like freaked me out because I'm like, what the heck is going on? But all I had to do was hit the emergency stop and then felt like continue, and it just took right back off where it left off.
Yeah. I see we got another question from Vicky. She's asking what is the UC controller? Vicky, that's for folks that are trying to run their machine on a newer computer like a laptop or even some desktops, the newer ones that don't have a parallel port. It's a little, if you could put in UC 100, there's a UC 300 and 400 and all that, but I use the UC 100. I have two of them, and it's just a CNC motion controller. It allows you to use a USB port and then connects to your parallel cable that will go to your drive box. So that's what the UC is all about.
Okay.
Gimp Geek says David just needs its morning coffee.
That's right.
Yeah, I know I'm not worth a flip till I get mine. So.
David Roby wants to know, have you ever reviewed a Shapeoko 3 CNC?
Have I?
Yeah, has the show. I know the answer, but I was going to put it to you.
Well, no, I don't guess we have. We've had people on here with X-carves and digital wood carvers and piranhas and what else? Yeah. A lot of different machines. If you have a Shapeoko and want to come on the show, send me an email and we'll see what we can do to get you on here.
Yeah, there was somebody out there earlier. I did not get your name. I apologize for that. He's running a Stepcraft right now, and he's thinking of moving up to the Garage Works.
Smart move.
Yeah, I don't know anything about
I'd have
Stepcraft.
to agree. But I'm not going to argue there.
Yeah, I saw a couple of videos of people running the Stepcraft. I haven't actually seen it in person, but I would say just from the looks, it's quite a bit of step up. The Stepcraft seems like a pretty lightweight machine.
Yeah, it's pretty though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it is.
It's got some orange on it, I believe, doesn't it?
Well, that one's pretty too.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah, it is. Another question I saw scroll by. Somebody in the chat was asking if anybody has converted a Garage Works to a plasma.
That was my next question for you.
Anybody that has, but by golly, you could, because it's steel.
Mm-hmm.
Don't try it with a Gatton CNC unless you make a steel bed for it.
Yeah, that plywood likes to just sit there and burn.
Yeah,
you'd be able to do it.
You could probably run it really good once.
Yeah, you can do anything once, Mike.
Yeah, but yeah, and I need to dig up some old pictures. One day we'll do a show and we'll just kind of have a throwback on some of the stuff I did way back when. But when I built my old, and when I say Sidewinder, I'm usually talking about the metal ones that most of you people may not even, if you've only been following me the last few years, you don't even know what I'm talking about. But in my shop, and if you go watch some of my older videos, I have a machine that's metal, and it was called the Sidewinder. That's where the Sidewinder CNC came from. And back then, I sold what I called, for lack of not coming up with a better name, it was called a router plasma combo. And this thing had the steel frame had 5 formed channels that went from front to back, and the thing was about the unlike the Garage Works, which is it's only like 4 inches, I think, the front and rear channels, but this one had like 7-inch tall channels. So there was a lot of room underneath. And what I did is I sold brackets that you could bolt into the front and the rear. And then they had a bunch of slots, and you could actually leave those brackets in while you were using it as a router, because it was up underneath the table or the channels that created the tabletop for when you're using a router. And then I also sold, like I said, I call it a router plasma combo, and I sold these little, I don't know if you've ever seen a laser or a plasma machine where they just have these slats that's just got a bunch of points on it, and they slid down in those brackets in the slots. So people would buy those and they could use it as a router. And then if they wanted to cut something in steel, they could take the router off, take those 5 channels out of the top, drop those slats in, and hook a hand plasma to it and cut steel. So, and I sold a bunch of those back in 2007, 2008, 9, and maybe a few in 10. But yeah, a lot of you guys probably have never even seen that. I'll have to dig out some old pictures. Because back then when I sold those, every time somebody would place an order, I built one completely, tested it, and then took it back apart and shipped it. So I made sure every one of them was run. So there's times where, and I've got pictures where there's like 6 of them out there in the garage.
Wow.
Why did you stop making them like that?
Well, I don't want to get political. Something happened that caused the economy to kind of, and the housing market, everything went kind of south. And I wasn't really selling that much, so I just said, heck, I'm just going to quit advertising them and start having fun with my CNC. So back then, I was so busy making machines because I was putting every single one of them together, building them complete and testing them and all that. I didn't have time to run mine. So when it got pretty slow, I just said, heck with it. I'll just quit advertising, and did sell them again until I started the Garage Works thing.
Well, just as a side note, Doug out there from Retro Weld is saying he wants to get a plasma table. So they're just throwing it in there.
Yeah, send me an email, Doug. We'll talk. Maybe I'll build something special just for you.
There you go. Told you I knew a fella. Okay, Doug Green has a couple of questions. First one is, can you add a parallel port to a PC and use that with the Xylotech drive box? You can, Doug, but if you're running the 64-bit version of Windows, it will not work because the 64-bit version will not recognize the parallel port driver. So your best bet, unless you know for sure you've got the 32-bit machine, is just get you an older machine. Got the 32-bit operating system, is just to get an older machine that has a parallel port. So they are cheap to free, believe me.
Yeah.
You could probably get an old one cheaper than you can get the board to put in that has a parallel port in it. So
right. I've told this story many times before. When I first got into CNC, I told my friends and family that I was looking for an old PC running Windows XP. And so if anybody had one in the closet or under the bed, gathering dust, something, let me know. I might be interested in buying it. Within a week, I had 4 given to me just out of my house. And I still have them coming. I've got within sight right now. I'm just looking down. I've got 3 right here, another one over here, and 2 more over on a shelf.
Damn.
So people just keep giving me stuff. So believe me, if you build it, they will come. And if you tell them you want a Windows XP machine, pretty soon you'll be telling them, okay, stop.
Yeah, they're not that hard to find. And if you, like I said, if you do have trouble finding one, just contact Michael Chipser. He can hook you up.
That's right. And John G over here, Sign Pro, says running Mach 3 doesn't require a powerful machine. So if you're using something newer, it's kind of pointless. And he's absolutely right.
Yep.
This is an old Pentium 3. We're talking, I don't know that it has a gig of RAM in it. I don't think it does. I think it's 512K or 512 meg.
Yeah.
So it doesn't take a lot.
Yeah, I've got an old XP that I run my old Sidewinder with out in the shop, and I used to have a compact Pentium 3 that had Windows 2000.
Yeah,
remember that operating system?
Oh yeah,
way back, and it ran it fine. It no problems.
What about
Don't have to have a lot of computer horsepower to run one.
what about one for Mac? I've heard a lot of Windows. I've heard a lot of Linux. Is there anything that's really designed out there to run with Mac?
Not that I'm aware.
I don't think so.
I think Macs are just designed to hook up in a Starbucks Wi-Fi and surf the internet. I don't.
Yeah, that's all they're good for, I think.
And do FaceTime with iPhones.
Yeah.
There are a couple of people that I know that have Macs, or I know online, and they use one of the Windows emulator programs. I'm not sure which one.
Boot Camp.
Yeah, that sounds familiar. I'd be lost on a Mac. I really would.
Yeah.
So, but
I don't know. I don't know much about Macs, but I know one of the guys I used to work with, he was a faithful Mac user. And he said that, that there, maybe it's whatever you said a while ago, but you can run some Windows-based stuff on them. I don't know, but I don't know about Mach 3 and all that. I don't really think it would.
Yeah, I don't think
work. But I could be wrong.
And you know what? For the price, free to $50, absolute max. You can live with one PC running nothing but Mach 3, can't you?
and the problem the Mac guys have is if you did try to use a Mac, any kind of problems you have, it's hard to find some help because nobody else is doing it. Everybody else is using the old Windows computers or a new laptop or something like that.
Okay. And Doug Green's other question
He's only allowed one.
Well,
I'm just kidding.
You can thumb wrestle him. I don't know. He says he's building a Gatton CNC. I was told by someone that I should beef up the frame as much as possible or some chattering might show up in the cut. Anyone seen a problem with this? Been running one for 2 years. The only time I ever get chatter is when I try to run my feed rate too fast. And in fact, that's how I figure out what feed rate I'm going to use. I set it low, bump it up in Mach 3 until I start to get a little chatter, then back it down 10% and let it go. So chatter is a question of trying to overfeed the bit.
Let me just say this about the Gatton CNC. It's designed to be easy to build and inexpensive. If you want to buy another sheet of plywood and cut it up and make supports and beef it all, I don't care. It's a DIY kit, so you can do whatever you want to. If you wanna just laminate plywood and make that cross member beam solid, I don't care. It's your machine. You can do what you want. You've seen mine out there. If you guys saw that video, it wasn't but about a 50-second video or something where I'm sitting on the thing riding on the gantry. And I don't have any of that extra support or anything in there. Mine's just a hollow box and it holds my butt up. So I don't know. Whatever makes you feel good. If you want to beef it up, go right ahead. Hi, Diana. I see Diana's out there.
Sean Tenaglia, and I do hope I'm not butchering your name. He just came back in. He was the fellow that was having half of the program, half of the gear in the program issue.
Yeah.
He just asked, How do I turn off the demo mode on Mach 3? License it.
Well, yeah, you got to put your license file that they send you in the Mach 3 folder, and then you have to restart Mach 3. And as soon as you restart it, it reads that license file, and boom, now all of a sudden you're a full-blown version.
Yep.
That's if he bought the license. Yeah, he may not have bought the license.
Yeah, so if he's running that thing in demo mode, the lines of code may have been too many, and that's why he was seeing half apart.
Yeah, it only gives you 500 lines, I think, right?
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah, 500 or 1,000, something like that. I don't know.
It's 500.
But
it's 500. So, okay. Let's
all right, what else we got over there?
All right, and somebody else wants your okay. Robert Cox wants to know: can the Crest 800 spindle fit in the GarageWorks machine, or do you need an adapter? Well, you could use the Crest 800 spindle if you wanted to downgrade. I'll let you handle that, Dave.
What does he mean by the
Crest 800 spindle is a German, more precise version of basically a Dremel.
Oh, okay. Is it 800? Is that? It's not like 800 watt, is it? Is that just?
I don't think so. Yeah, I don't. I think that's
well, I mean, some people, depending on what they're doing, they may not need anything more than a Dremel. Depending on if they're specializing in something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could adapt it and figure out how to mount it on there. For those who, again, maybe you're new and just now watching the show or something, on everything I've designed for the last 12 years, I've always used the same bolt hole pattern for a router mount. They're 2.5 inches apart horizontally and 1 inch apart vertically. And on some of the GarageWorks, I have like 4 sets of holes. On some of the smaller ones, I only have a couple. But that hole pattern has been around forever. K2 CNC, when they made all their router mounts before they went out of business, they used that hole pattern. That's why I started using it. CNCrouterparts.com. Mike Mertzke, you bought, I think, from them, right? And it bolted right up. Mm-hmm. So they use that hole pattern. And it's the same thing I use on the GarageWorks CNC and the Gatton CNC. I use the same bolt pattern. So if you can buy a mount to fit whatever that 800, whatever you called it, Crest, whatever.
Yeah.
It'll probably fit that. Or you can make something, it's not that big a dig. He says, yes, it's 800 watt. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Rick Nolan wanted to know if cold weather, does the cold weather hurt the controller? It doesn't hurt mine. I mean, I'm in the Pacific Northwest and we got down to 9 degrees. It's just fine. I mean, I don't know about some of you folks up in the Midwest, up in Michigan, or Mark up there in Canada, probably laughing at 9 degrees Fahrenheit, thinking it's summertime. But it hasn't hurt mine at all.
Yeah, and he's talking about the
controller.
The dry box?
Controller. Yeah, dry box.
Yeah, well, usually cold is better for electronics than heat. Heat's the enemy of electronics, so.
Yeah. But I will say this, when it is cold, something that I've noticed is under about 35 degrees Fahrenheit, you go out, run all your axes back and forth a little bit before you start, before you try to run a G-code, just to warm up those lead screws and lead nuts a little bit, because they contract when they get cold. They contract at different rates. So run all 3 axes for about 2 minutes each, and it'll let it, kind of warm up and break loose, and it'll be just fine. So.
Yep. So. Anything else?
Yeah, Doug Green came back and said he was actually referring to the frame that the CNC sits on, bracing that up. I was told to add as much bracing underneath as possible. I wasn't talking about anything shown on the plans. Yeah, he's right about that.
Yeah, well, again, I show how I make the table. If you want to add more 2x4s or whatever you want to do. It's like I said, folks, it's a DIY kit. You don't have to build it exactly like the plans call for. And that's one neat thing about those plans, which, by the way, if you don't have yours, you can click the link down below. There's my little plug for the night. The parts you get from me in the kit are the parts that, got all the whole layouts and all that stuff. The parts that you make are just simple rectangle cuts, so you can make them as wide or as short, or that's why I think this design is so popular is because it's real easy to adapt for people that want to make it smaller to put on a workbench, or they want to make it really big to put a half sheet of plywood on or whatever. It's really easy to modify. Hey, Zach.
My table.
Zach's out there from Southern Ginger Workshop.
My table is fairly wiggly. I don't have any 45-degree braces or anything like that. And when it's going fast and then it changes motion, it will jiggle a little tiny bit in my work. But
it jiggles everywhere equally, right?
Yeah, the whole unit will wiggle, and it doesn't care where it is.
See, it depends on what you're running, because if you're running something where there's a lot of rapid change of direction and stuff, my big green one probably doesn't, because this is a heavy, but my one out there in my shop wiggles too, but it's because I got it on casters, the cart. So the everything's solid. It just looks like it's moving because it's wiggling around on those casters. But it doesn't affect the cut or anything. All right, Mark, anything else over there?
Oh, yeah, we got two more. One of them is not so much a question, but it is a little tip that Jim Sinicola sent me earlier today. Said he's been running his pretty heavy since a little bit before Christmas. And he decided today to go do a little PM, preventative maintenance, walk around it and check a few things out. And he said he found a couple of couplers had loosened up a little bit. And same thing with the nuts on a couple of the V-groove bearings. So just a suggestion, you might want to occasionally walk around and tighten everything up, and just to check it out, because it's better to find it that way than when you are in the middle of a $100 piece of walnut,
Yeah. So, I see one more thing I want to answer real quick. I see Vicky's on there, and she says suggestions on where to find the UC100. Vicky, if you go down to the description in this video or show, whatever you want to call it, and click on the link that says davegatton.com, just like you're going to buy a Gatton CNC parts kit, and then scroll down, and I have put together a whole bunch of links for a lot of the stuff that I use and have bought, and people ask me, where did you get that? And so I've got links to the UC100, my touchscreen monitor, the wireless keyboard, Mach 3. I mean, I put all kinds of stuff over there to try to make it easy for people to find stuff, because like I said, I get emails all the time saying, man, I saw in your video you're using this, where'd you get it? The Mach 3 Panda, that's another one that Amazon has sold out. Yeah, well, they may be, because
okay,
but that's
UC100.
That's to me the best place you can get it. You can probably get it somewhere. I know you can buy it from, what is that company? CNC 4PC or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, whenever I saw her in the chat type that or put that in, it's about that, and I went straight to Amazon, and they are showing that they are out.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, Zach Manring wants to know, what's a good bit for engraving on an iPhone? If y'all didn't see his video, he engraved the back of an iPhone.
And the front.
And the front.
Really fine, like fine text or something.
Mm-hmm. I think he was just kidding around, but he said he was using a 2-flute 20-degree V-bit.
But, in his video, he talked about, at least on the back, it came out a little rougher than he would like. Be curious to see how one of those compression diamond tip bits would work on something like that. I bet that would engrave it pretty nice.
Well, I think he went 200,000 depth, if I'm not mistaken. Thought I seen that in the book.
Yeah, he cut it 20 thousandths. That's pretty deep.
Okay, 20 or 200? I thought I seen 0.2.
Oh, was it 0.2? I thought it was 0.2.
I seen 0.2.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's pretty
An
deep.
iPhone is probably not even that thick, is it? 200 thousandths. Yeah. Go ahead and use like a 1/2-inch end mill, Zach, on that thing.
0.0
See,
y'all are 20 thousandths.
Y'all are a lot more technical than I am.
Okay,
he said
20 thousandths.
Yeah.
20 thousandths. Okay.
Okay, 20,000.
Yeah, I thought a 3-pound ball peen hammer and go buy an Android, but that's just me.
Yeah.
That'll get him riled.
Yes, you did, Jim Sinicola. Jim Sinicola just says, "Did I see Dave with a new water-cooled spindle?" Yes, you did.
Oh yeah.
Tell us about that, Dave.
Well, what do you want to know?
Everything.
How'd it work out? I mean, that looks pretty cool.
I bought. I've kind of been thinking about one for a while, and I got to watching Jerry Brown had posted some videos or pictures or something, and I saw that he had a water-cooled spindle. So I was inquiring with him what kind he had and stuff. I think he's got the 1.5 kilowatt, I believe, which is about 2 horsepower. And I bought the. In fact, if you go to that page, you'll see a link. You see the exact one I bought. I bought the 2.2. It's the whole kit. Comes with the mount, the VFD, the submersible pump, and the hose. I mean, it's everything. Yeah, it's 220 volt, and we got it running. I've had my buddy Jim over here because I didn't have 220 run out in my garage, so he's been over here running some more power for me, and we've got it going. And all I've got to do now is mount it to the machine and figure out the connections with Mach 3 to get it controlled through Mach 3. But yeah, it's going to be awesome. I'm really liking it. I posted like a 15 or 20 second video on Facebook, and it's like, I mean, that thing is unbelievable. I mean, what I use now is a Porter cable 7518, and just like any of the Porter cables, I mean, not even cutting wood, just flipping the thing on and having it set there running. It's loud. You can't even have a conversation when you're standing near that thing. But this spindle, you can crank that thing up, and it was funny because Jim was on the other side of my garage, and we were like whispering to each other because we couldn't believe how quiet that thing was. Of course, obviously, it's going to make a little more noise when it's cutting, but just the whine of it is just really, really quiet. So I'm looking forward to that, and I'm also looking forward to not having, like the other routers typically have the air comes through the top and blows out the bottom. So even though you have a dust skirt or shoe or whatever, it's always trying to blow that stuff out from underneath. So I'm hoping my dust collection becomes a lot more efficient. Plus, I'm going to get a different dust collection thing too.
What kind of speed can you get with that?
The one I got will go 0 to 24,000 RPM.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm running a Porter Cable 890, and it runs 11,000 to 22,000 RPM, and there are a lot of times I want to just down below that, So nice.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting that thing up, and I've kind of taken I won't say days off because I've been out there working on other stuff, but I've got to I got some more customer orders I got to get out, so I may have to wait till I get it all running. Plus, I'm trying to add drag chain and stuff like that, trying to get my machine straightened out a little bit where stuff's not dragging around on the floor and stuff like that.
So that water tool spindle is variable speed control?
Yeah, it's got a VFD, and
Wow.
once I get it all wired up, it'll all be controlled with Mach 3. It'll start, and you can adjust the RPM right there.
And with it being water cooled, it doesn't have that blower fan inside the motor shooting dust all over.
Yeah, it's got nothing. Just
yeah.
And all it is it's got like it's got two things and they're not even marked. They're not marked inlet and outlet. It's just they're both the same. So it's just you hook one in and the pump pumps it in one and it comes out the other one. It's just a jacket in there to keep it cool. But when we first hooked it up and of course you have to set some parameters on the VFD, and I'll probably I've got my book right here, and I watched a lot of videos, and more than once I heard people say that the biggest challenge to getting that is trying to make sense out of this manual, because sometimes the translation loses a little bit by the time they put it in a manual. But yeah, I'll probably maybe do a video, or maybe have have the show out there again, and I can do a walk around or something to show it when I get it all going.
Yeah, you figured it all out.
Really looking forward to that. Hopefully I can get my cycle times cut down a little bit. I should be able to.
Yeah, you get it all figured out for us, Dave, and then we'll copy it.
Yeah, there you go.
You do all the thinking for us. Okay.
Right, just copy off of Jerry. Let Jerry get it done. You just copy off of him.
Yeah. I think Jerry's already got his going. I haven't really talked to him since then, but it wasn't really that bad. The like I said, the parameters, I'm just not an electronics guy, so all that stuff is Greek to me. And like I said, I have my buddy Jim. He's an electrician friend of mine. He lives, not even a mile from me. And he come over and run a bunch more outlets because, you never got enough outlets out there. And he ran me some 220. He hooked me up with a, what do you call it? A contact. So that, because I have switches on the front of my machine that Jim also made for me. So I can flip that contact and it'll turn on the power to the VFD. And I made a little wooden box that it sets in with a fan, for summertime and stuff like that to keep it cool. So it's going to be pretty cool. I'll have to do a show out there and do a walk around or something and show it. But I could actually turn it on and run it. It wouldn't be so loud. We could still talk right here because it's really, really quiet.
Well, I hope you're shooting video of the install, because you're going to have about 1 million questions, and that's just from me.
Well, I haven't really been, because I just want to get it done,
I hear you.
And I'm just trying to get it done. So I'm probably not going to set up the camera and shoot videos of me doing stuff. I may do a video and show what I did and explain how I did stuff and stuff like that. But yeah, I'll do that.
Sorry about that. I have a question here.
Jim takes good care of you. He does. He's not a YouTube watcher, so I know he's not watching tonight. But my buddy Jim, I'm telling you, he really takes good care of me as far as electrical stuff, and he wired my whole shop when I got my shop about 4 years ago. He come over and did all that for me. So Jim's a good guy.
Tim Roberts is asking a question. When would the speed of the router be a problem? If you're using a large diameter bit, you need to slow down the RPMs, depending upon the diameter of the bit. And some materials like acrylic, plastics, and even aluminum prefer a slower. So having that variable speed is a big help there.
Yeah. And that's another thing I'm wanting to try is to buy some end mills and stuff and try to do some aluminum work. because now you can get the speeds way down there where they need to be for aluminum. Whereas with a router, you can still do it, but you kind of just have to make light cuts and really keep the thing moving so it doesn't get too hot.
Yep.
And I've gummed up a few bits trying to do aluminum with a router.
Me too. Okay, Aaron Surgeon, I think that's how you pronounce his name, wants to know, since we have owners of both a 4x4 and a 24x36 this time, what is the cutting area of the 4x4 and the 24x36 Garage Work CNCs?
I know and Mike Mertzke, you can correct me on this if I'm wrong. I know I have cut with the 4x4 when I had that demo out there. You can cut about 46 on the X. That's kind of pushing it. And you can cut 48, but you have to hang it off the front about 1 3/4 inches, I think. But so if you don't want to hang it off the front, it'll reach what, easily 45 by 45, Mike? Is that?
Oh yeah, easily.
And the other one, the one like you got, Juan, what does it get? Like 34 maybe on the X by?
I don't like pushing it to the very limit, but what I have written down here for my max, that would be a 34.5 by 24.
Okay, 34.5 by 24. Okay.
I can confirm that and try to move it around.
That's see, I've got the old shoestring budget build, the plywood one, and it's right around that same thing too there, Juan. So I think we're both about the same.
Yeah, I'm sure that's going to be I'm turning it on here, but 34.5 by 24 is what I have written down.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's pretty accurate.
See, the way the Garage Works is built is very similar to the Gatton CNC. They're both designed the same way. If you look behind Juan there, you can see that his X-axis rails overhang the gantry sides a little bit. So that bit will technically run over and cut the aluminum angle it's sitting on if he runs it far enough. And it's the same way with the old shoestring budget build, and the same way with the Gatton CNC. If you build that wide enough, you can run it completely off of the ding dong gantry if you want.
You got to remember though, too, folks, is you got to still have a way to hold stuff down.
No.
So.
Yep.
What else we got? I don't see any more questions over
I got
there right now.
one last question from Sign Pro, John G. He wants to know how tight are the tolerances on the Garage Works CNC, specifically backlash.
Are you going to run NASA space shuttle parts?
You didn't specify.
Spend a whole lot more money.
Yep.
No, I mean, again, folks, remember, these are DIY kits. So I know what I can get if I put it together and set it up. But, if you buy one of mine or build one of mine, whatever, you're putting it together. So, yeah, you can get some really good tolerances if you do it like I do. But I don't know if you're going to do it like I do. I don't know what kind of tolerances you're trying to hold, but
yeah, and it is a home hobby CNC for woodworking, and I'm telling you, if you breathe on a piece of wood, you've just expanded it 5 thou.
Yeah. Hey, Jim Sinicola, he says, Dave, went over to your website and the products are not showing up on that you're using. You may have your ad blocker set up.
I was going to say that.
They're all Amazon. Yeah, it depends on how you have.
Okay, he's cutting. Yeah.
Dave, I have a picture here of my latest project on a first generation plywood machine. If you want to see that.
Oh, you're looking for it? Okay.
And by the way, while Vic, I'm going to answer Vicky's question. She's asking about a general idea on the price for the UC 100. If you go to Amazon and buy it, they're always about $115.
And it's about the same price if you go to that the other U.S. distributor for it.
Okay, yeah, CNC 4 PC or something like that.
Yeah.
I think it's the same.
And usually when Amazon sells out of either the UC 100s or the pennants, they usually get them back in stock pretty quick.
Yeah, I noticed. I noticed the other day well, in fact, it was right after last week's show. I talked about having those links over there, and they were sold out the next day. So I don't know if that had anything to do with it or not. But
hey, I noticed someone in the chat had just mentioned about eBay, and if you go to the UC 100's website, they have a warning on there. There's a lot of rip-off UC 100s being sold on eBay, and they recommend do not buy one on eBay.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, folks, I used to be an eBay seller and bought a lot of stuff off there, but I haven't been on eBay, and I couldn't tell you when. I stay away from eBay. There's too much junk on there, in my opinion.
Lyle Foyt's wanting to know if you can lock on Mark so you can see his project.
Okay, where do you go?
Can you guys see that really quick?
Oh, wait a minute. Juan,
Hold on here.
what you got, Juan?
Yeah.
5/8. That's what I put on the machine. That's what I got.
It's dead nuts, 5/8. Yeah. And it's like I said, you can really dial these things in, but I'm not the one coming to your house putting it together. You are. So it's all in how you line it up. You got to make sure stuff's square before you move on to the next step. But
if you followed Dave's instructions that he puts on there, take your time. Like he said, make sure the machine's square and set it up right. Mine's dead on too. My GarageWorks is dead on also. It's an accurate machine.
And there's no reason it shouldn't be,
Okay, there's Mark's project. If we can lock on him for a minute.
Okay.
Made with the plywood CNC first generation Gatton. 3 feet by 2 feet.
Yeah, and what he's talking about when he says first, we're talking a plywood machine, folks, that did that. So
yeah, and if you haven't seen his video of how he makes that and then the finishing, I definitely recommend you go watch that. That is an awesome video.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I'll second that. After the show is over, go over here into the description and look down for Mark's YouTube channel.
Okay. Sorry to interrupt, Mark, but I got to take this. You got to take this comment here. I see something. Sign Pro over there says, Dave, you seem more confident, or your people seem more confident in the machine than you. No, that's not the case. Like I said, I know what kind of tolerances I can get, and I can get them dead nuts. But it is a DIY kit, so I'm not the one putting yours together or Mike's together or whatever. So the tolerances they get are going to be how much time they take to set it up and dial it in.
Kind of boils down to
I have complete confidence in my machines, or I wouldn't be selling them.
Kind of boils down to almost how much it is they want to be happy with the way they set it up.
Yeah.
Well, and
I mean, you want to get picky. I mean, I feel confident building a Gatton CNC and dialing it in and being as accurate as you got to remember just like with any machine, you can't like I hate to beat them up here, but take an X-Carve. Those are probably really accurate machines, but you just have to do everything really light because of the way they're built. So as long as you stay within the limitations of the machine, I mean, we're talking, you know, all my machines are, you know, they don't weigh 2,000 pounds, and, you know, they're not a Haas CNC milling center and stuff like that. So you can't expect to get a half a thou or something like that. But it's, you know, it's like that old saying in racing, you know, speed costs money. How fast can you afford to go? Well, precision costs money too. How fast?
Well, not only that, but
be.
Also it's operating the machine has a lot to do with it also, as far as, let's say you're using a 2-inch, you have a 1/4 inch end mill and you're using a 2-inch length of cut or an inch length of cut because you want to go through your material that you're cutting. If you're going really fast, there's tool flex. It might not be much, but when you're talking about thousandths of an inch, that also can happen. And you're like, oh, well, the machine's off. It's really not the machine. It's just you're going too fast or whatnot.
Yeah.
So you just got to know what you're doing and make sure you set everything right.
Yeah. JJ Woodshop, which is Jesse Brown, he's asking, is there a video on dialing it in? There's a ton of videos on YouTube. I've done one on, well, let's see, I guess it was when I was doing the Gatton CNC machine out there. I showed how I dialed it in using the calibration stuff in Mach 3. It's not hard to do, but there's a ton of videos out there on YouTube.
Hit Juan's website, Geocode 1 Design, right over here in the description for the video. He did an excellent video on calibrating. And again, guys, it's not a one-time thing. You know, run the calibration routine, and if you're off by 3,000ths, put it in, put that number in, and it'll keep going. I mean, it'll keep calibrating longer than you can. You know, you'll get sick of it before it will. And, you know, it just depends on how critical you have to have those tolerances.
Now, on that video that I made,
but
I'm sorry to bother you to interrupt, but on that video I made, somebody mentioned before is, well, you only did 12 inches. And the reason I did that was because I had my calipers and I wanted to show it on the video. But they did mention, and it's true, is the further you go, the better, because it's, I can't really go into details, but it's just the further you go, the better. But if you don't have the tooling for it, also you could do how Dave mentioned, is cut the piece and then measure it. But I only did it 12 inches, and yes, further go, it's the better calibrated it is.
Yeah. Now, and to Juan's point there, you know, it's better if you can cut a bigger piece, but it's not going to do you any good to cut a big 15 by 15 test piece and then you're checking it with a tape measure.
Exactly.
If you've got some big, you know, 24-inch calipers or something that you can check it with to find out how accurate you are, then fine. That's why I cut, because I only had a pair of 6-inch calipers. So I cut a piece, I don't know what it was, 4x4 or 3x3 or something like that. And you can also cut that same small part all over your, you know, different areas of your table, just to check it out that way.
And unless you have a climate and humidity controlled shop that you can keep at a constant humidity level and a constant temperature all day long, all that's going to change tomorrow morning anyway. Because it's a plywood machine.
That's why I kind of laugh when people start saying, well, what kind of tolerances can you hold? And I'm going, well, I don't know. Is it going to be the same weather today as it was tomorrow?
That's right.
Because, I mean, we're talking about cutting wood and, you know, stuff like that. So
that's right. You know, I mean, I had mine within 2,000ths on the day that I calibrated it. I don't know what it is now, but that was good enough for me. And I've never had a problem. But then again, I'm not trying to machine parts. I'm cutting wood and occasionally plastic.
Yeah.
So I'll put
Jesse Brown out there says, I'm OCD. I have to be as perfect as possible. I know somebody else like that.
Well, I know my Garage Works has better tolerance than I do, and I'm OCD, so.
Yeah.
I wasn't gonna mention your name, Mike.
I thought you were I thought you were a CSM. I didn't know you was an OCD.
All right, I see we're
we are.
We're running over a little bit here, like we
let me put it to you this way. I know people run fretboards for guitars on their CNCs, to include Dave and myself. And you have to be accurate to run a fretboard and have that guitar be in tune.
Yeah.
And if we can do it, you can do it.
Yeah.
If I can do it, you can do it.
Okay. We got any more questions? Anything else that did I miss anything?
The question of the week.
Yeah, we got to give away. We got to give this router bit away. If you're joining us late, today's question of the week prize is going to be a half-inch diameter, 60-degree V-bit, quarter-inch shank from Whiteside. I bought this, I don't know, probably months ago. Never have used it, so I thought, well, I'll just give it away then. People might be getting tired of them silly hats. Okay. Question of the week. Right here before we sign out. Let me put my glasses on. Okay, now again, folks, let's go over the phone number. Has everybody got the phone number? Everybody raise their hand if you got the phone number.
I got it.
770-778-5816. Let me just type it in the chat here real quick.
I'll do it. I'm doing it right now. I got it.
Okay, there we go. It's in there twice. 770-778-5816. The first one to text me the correct answer, and make sure you put your first and last name so I know who the heck you are when I get these text messages. Here's the question. And this is going to be, you're going to have to do some digging for this one probably, folks. This was going to be a little tougher. I don't know how many videos I've got on my Dave Gatton YouTube channel, the one you're watching right now. I think I've got over 200 or something like that. But I released a video on November 21st, 2012. The first person that texts me the correct answer to what the title of that video is will get this router bit set to them. Okay, that's our question of the week.
Good one.
Thanks everybody for being on here. Trevor, thanks for joining us tonight.
Thanks for having me, Dave.
I'm glad you were able to get in here. Thanks for being here. Russ Meadows, thanks buddy for coming along. Mike Mertzke, Mark Graves, Mark Lindsay, Juan, and my dear friend Becca Miller down in Texas. Thank you very much for being on here tonight. Thanks guys for watching. Don't forget to, if you've liked this show or enjoyed it, leave us a thumbs up on the way out. Share it after it gets to be video and all that stuff. You know the drill. Anyway, that's it, guys. Have a great week. Oh, and be careful if anybody's out. I've heard there's some kind of little football game tomorrow or something.
Nah.
So if y'all are out partying, be careful. Don't do anything stupid. Stay home to watch the game. Don't be out in some bar or something like that and getting in trouble. Okay, that's it. That's my public service announcement for the day.
Good night, everyone.
Night.
We're out here. Take care, everybody. Have a great weekend.
Take care. Give us a thumbs up on the way out.
Bye.